I teamed up with fellow Harry Potter YouTuber named Brett's Thoughts. He challenged me, and we documented it all. Today you'll see us go head to head to see who can assemble the best Quidditch team, the best guest list for a Harry Potter party, the best team to fight both with and without magic, the best team for a pub quiz trivia night, and the best group to survive a zombie apocalypse with. But there are some rules. We can pick any character from the entire Harry Potter universe, but once one of us picks them, the other person can't have them. Like most draft systems, to keep it fair, whoever goes first gets one pick, then the other person gets 2 picks, and we carry on with 2 at a time. And the final rule, you guys decide the winner of each scenario. It is up to you to let us know in the comments who you think has picked the best lineup for each scenario, so don't be shy and let us know your opinions. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and sharing. It will greatly help to grow and sustain the channel. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, and you can also follow me on all of my other social medias, all of which are linked down below, and all of which house similar content that I make here on this channel. With that said, let's jump into scenario 1.
Starting with Quidditch, I think being a seeker is the most important position, right? If you catch the snitch early, the game is just over. So with that said, I'm gonna do first pick, Victor Crumb. Probably the best seeker in the whole series, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna start with Keeper. I think I'm gonna start with Keeper because there's so little keepers to choose from. And I'm gonna go with Oliver Wood.
I have to be honest, he wouldn't have been my first pick keeper, honestly.
Really?
Why keeper as your first pick? Like, why is that your most important position?
Honestly, like, I don't think it's the most important position, but I think it is an important position and there's very little to choose from.
Okay. So it's like the scarcity.
Yeah. You have Ron, who is like iffy, like he could be good, he could be bad. Then you have Cormac, who he's a good keeper, but you don't want that guy on your team.
Absolutely not.
Like, there was that one time where he was playing keeper. Somehow he got the beater's bat and knocked his captain Harry out.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not picking him just for what it's worth, but it's a strong place to start, like a solid back line. What is it they say? Like a good defense wins championships, right?
Exactly.
And your second pick?
Second pick, I am going to go for Seeker. I'm going to say Charlie Weasley.
Ooh, okay.
I do think that Charlie is better than Harry. Harry had the Firebolt. He had the Nimbus 2000. Charlie was out here playing on probably a really crappy broom, and everybody always said that Charlie could have gone pro.
Yeah, they said he could have played for England, right?
Yeah.
So I think Charlie is a great pick, but Oliver Wood, I think at some point says this is the best team we've had in years, and hasn't Charlie only just graduated when Harry comes in? So I'm like, maybe according to Oliver Wood, Harry's a better seeker.
That is true. I'll argue that though. Charlie didn't have as good of a team around him. He did win the cup too in his early years.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he won in his like second year, and he never won again. And I'm going to say because he didn't have a good team around him. And then Harry came in. I'm going to say Oliver Wood said that this is the best team because of Angelina, Fred, George, Alicia, Katie.
Yeah, that's fair. Also, I guess like probably when Charlie was there for most of his years, like Fred and George probably weren't the beaters either. And we know they're really solid beaters too, right? That's fair. I think that's a great seeker pick.
Thank you.
So I don't need to stress about keeper because you've got that filled. So that was gonna be my next pick, but I'm gonna put that off to try and get better chasers, I think. So I'm gonna go Troy from the Irish national team.
Okay.
From what I can tell from that chapter, he scores the most points, at least the most that are narrated upon. If you're looking at like chasers that play at Hogwarts and chasers that win the World Cup final, you take the chaser that wins the World Cup final, right?
That's fair.
For my next pick, I think I'm going to take Ludo Bagman as my beater.
That's what I was going to take.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. I mean, he clearly put in a great performance in the World Cup before his trial because everyone wanted to let him off. If your performance exceeds judiciary, like legislation, I feel like that's like an all-timer.
Dude, that was like one of the craziest scenes too. Barty Crouch was trying to discipline this man, and then the entire jury is like, hey, by the way, that game that you played in was really good.
Nothing like corruption at the highest level in Harry Potter, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a bit worried about Bagman in my dressing room, though. Like, could the guy bet on a game that he's playing in and serve like a lifetime ban? Maybe.
Oh, I didn't think about that. For Chaser, I'm going to go Ginny Weasley. And I know she plays a lot of Seeker, but I think she's also one of the best chasers.
And she goes pro, right?
Yeah. So I think overall, like, she is one of the best all-around Quidditch players in general. Like, she could play chaser, she could play Seeker, and she's elite at both of them and went pro.
I think that's a great pick. I had like a whole category of picks called utility, and she was like my top utility pick because multiple positions, like, because Quidditch isn't a game with subs. Like, you get an injury, you need someone like Ginny to pick up the slack and like play across two positions, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, 2 Weasleys as well. Your team chemistry is going to be through the roof. And who's your 4?
I'm gonna take a beater. I'm gonna go Gwenog Jones.
Ooh, okay.
From the Hollyhead Harpies.
I remember them being mentioned, but I don't remember in what context.
She was part of the only all-women's team, was the captain, and if you remember, Slughorn was like, free tickets whenever I want them.
Quidditch Jones, captain of the Hollyhead Harpies. Free tickets whenever I want them.
I mean, yeah, captain of a great Quidditch team. I think that's a great pick. That's who Ginny goes on to play for too, right? The Hollyhead Harpy?
Yeah, that's like Ginny's idol. She has a poster of her in her room.
I feel like I have to take another beater. I'm going to take Quigley, the Irish beater. It's another World Cup winner. But mostly, it's because Victor Crumb is the best Seeker, and there's a bit in the chapter of the World Cup final where Quigley hits him in the face with a bludger, and it was like, to hit the best Seeker with a bludger, you gotta be a damn good aim. Do you know what I mean? Him and Bagman together, 2 international standard beaters. My tactic is just gonna be, take out their Seeker, take out their Keeper, and I could have the worst chasers in the world, and I'm gonna be fine.
Yeah, and he had insane aim too. Like, he didn't just hit Crumb, like, he nailed him right in the nose.
I don't know how him and Crumb will be on the same team after that. I don't know if they'll like get along, but you're the one going for team synergy, not me. I think my next pick is going to be Chaser Zachariah Smith.
Oh.
I know I'm picking terrible people, okay? I know that's the case. But like, I was looking it up, and when he plays for Hufflepuff in Harry's 5th and 6th years, they score 230 and 320 points against Gryffindor. And I was like, he's the thing that's changed from them being so dreadful the year before. He's the one that's come into the team. He's got to be a damn good chaser for them to be scoring that high. Do you know what I mean?
The stats don't lie. So yeah, I think that's a good pick.
The stats don't lie. I'm moneyballing this, I tell ya.
I am going to go, and this one might confuse some people, but I'm going to go James Potter.
Ooh, okay.
And the reason why that might confuse some people is because most think that James Potter is a Seeker, but in canon, he is actually a chaser, and a really, really good chaser. The movies kind of confuse people because they had like that plaque for like James Potter and said Seeker, but J.K. Rowling actually released in deeper Harry Potter lore that he was a chaser. I think he would be a good addition to the team.
I think that's a great pick. So I also thought he was a Seeker, but mostly because you see him playing with that snitch, and I was like, why else would he play with a snitch if he's not a Seeker? But I got called out in my comment section way too many times for me to not look up what you just said about him being announced as Chaser.
So the reason why he had the snitch, Rowling said, was because it was the easiest one to steal from the broom cupboard.
Oh, that's smart. So my question to you would be, you didn't pick Harry because he had really elite brooms, right? We know that James was rich. Do you not think he also had really elite brooms?
That is a good point, but I will counter argue that back then, they did not have the brooms that Harry had.
Okay.
The Nimbus 2000 was like, it was like the peak. Like, there was nothing like it before that.
I will contest no more. That's fair.
I'm gonna go Angelina Johnson for Chaser.
Any reason her over, like, Alicia?
I went through all the books. Angelina, by far, had the most scores, the best playing on the field when it comes to the like trifecta of Katie, Alicia, and Angelina.
Okay, that is a great pick. And like you said, the stats don't lie, right?
Stats don't lie.
Am I right? Angelina was the one that went out with both twins, right? Fred until he died and then George later.
Yeah, that is like one of the craziest things to me. I've talked about this a little bit, but the fact that she went out with Fred while they were in school, Fred died, and then she decided to go with George, who looks exactly like Fred. Like, George must be like, does she like me because I look like Fred? Or does she like me because I'm George? So I'm like, that's not healthy for either side. And then it gets even weirder because they named their son Fred.
It's like naming your kid after your ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know. Like, I just find that like a really weird dynamic.
That is what I see. My point was going to be like she marries into the Weasley family, so you've got 3 Weasleys. That's again great for team chemistry. I mean, you're making it sound like it could be a strained relationship between her and George at some point, so maybe it's not so great. My final chaser, I think I'm going to take Roger Davies.
Okay.
So I know we don't know much about him. I was like, he makes captain ahead of Cho, who we know is a good flyer, so he's got to be fairly decent. Besides that, I don't know much about his ability, but I think with me having 2 world-beating beaters, I don't need to worry about having a good third chaser anyway, you know? In a team whose the other chaser is Troy, the World Cup winning chaser, like, as if Roger Davies is going to get the quaffle. Like, Troy's just going to get it and do it all himself. My final pick for keeper, then, is going to be... Is it Bletchley, the Slytherin keeper from the first couple of books? Bletchley?
Yeah, Bletchley.
He concedes so few goals against that Gryffindor team the first 3 times they play. This guy lets in 2, none for the second time they face each other, and then 8 in the last time, which is a little bit more, but I'm like, this must be a good bloody keeper. Against chasers like Angelina Johnson, for example, I'm definitely taking him over Cormac McLagan anyway. Like, if I had a never-ending supply of, like, Felix Felicis, maybe I'd take Ron, but I'm just like, I can't let people get in his head. There's no way I'm letting that happen. So I think Bletchley.
You're about to cheat? Use Felix Felicis? Whatever it takes.
Dude, I've just told you my whole tactic is for my beaters to, like, knock people unconscious, so... I'm here to win, dude.
You had a really good strategy going in. I kind of just like went in like, oh, I think this would be the best. You know, I didn't really have a strategy.
You have 1 more beater to pick.
I'm going to go with Fred Weasley.
Why Fred over George?
I feel like they're exactly the same. So it's just choosing one.
Okay. So I had a note on my list of who I was going to pick, my like draft prep notebook, where I was like, if I had to pick between them, I was going to pick Fred, because in the Goblet of Fire, like, George is the one that's like, maybe we shouldn't blackmail, and Fred is the one that's like, maybe we should blackmail. So I'm like, in the role of beater, you want that person who doesn't have that moral compass, right? That one that's willing to go a little bit further. I'm like, Fred is the more unhinged pick of the 2.
I feel like you would be a very devious Quidditch coach.
So these are our 2 teams on screen. We should let the comment section decide who would win out of our 2 sides, right?
Absolutely. Let us know, guys. I'm excited to see what they have to say.
My first pick for Magic Battle, it's gonna have to be Dumbledore. He's the OG. He's the most powerful one.
Yeah, that would have been my pick too. I am gonna go with Godric Gryffindor.
Oh, that's huge. I didn't even think about the founders, dude. That's massive.
Yeah, because he's also like, he is known for being an insane duelist. Plus, he can use his magical sword, and he's literally like one of the most powerful wizards of all time. There's like a lot of lore about how hard it would have been to make Hogwarts, and the 4 founders coming together to do that was like next level magic. And Gryffindor, I think, was the most powerful out of all 4 of them.
My knowledge of the lore of the founders is not great. Do you think in a 1v1 Dumbledore against Gryffindor, like, how close is that?
It's close, but honestly, dude, I feel like Gryffindor would win. Dumbledore would have been my top pick, and if you asked me that like 2 minutes ago, I would have said Dumbledore, but like the more I'm thinking about Gryffindor, I think Gryffindor would take it. All right, next, I'm gonna go Lord Voldemort.
Huge, okay.
He did magic that no one had ever even conceived of doing. He took magic farther than literally anybody else. Granted, it was dark magic, but you could also argue that dark magic can be more powerful than normal magic.
No, I think that's a great pick. I think he's a phenomenal duelist, as we see time and time again. I do think I have his kryptonite. I have someone who wasn't even trying to kill him and still bested him in a duel in the Ministry. So I'm not too worried about Voldemort. I also think that your strategy of team synergy is out the window with Gryffindor and Voldemort together. Like, that is a recipe for some infighting. But it's strong. Definitely. On paper, it's strong. I think my next pick is going to have to be Grindelwald.
Okay.
The 3 main ones in the series, not including the founders, who I don't know much about, the 3 that we know being closest in ability are Voldemort, Grindelwald, and Dumbledore, right? That most other wizards couldn't stop, like just in a league of their own. Also, there's the romantic history with him and Dumbledore, so I'm getting some team chemistry in here.
But at the same time, they stopped talking because it's possible that Grindelwald killed his sister, so that could be interesting.
There is that small detail, yeah.
Just the small little detail.
I feel like this is rogue, because I don't actually know how strong or powerful this wizard is, and you might have to course correct me. I think I'm going to take Merlin.
Okay.
Is that a good pick? I don't know how strong of a wizard he was, but I'm like, people use his name in place of God. Like, this guy is almost a deity in wizarding talk, so he's got to be quite powerful.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a good pick. I think in the lore, like, he's one of the most powerful wizards of all time. And unfortunately, though, like, we don't know that much about him. But if it has to do with, like, not lore in Harry Potter, but just, like, lore in general, he's pretty damn powerful.
Okay, thank you. Because I was sat here, I was like, who on earth can I pick to combat Gryffindor? And I was like, Salazar Slytherin is the obvious one. But I'm just like, I feel like Merlin is like a Hail Mary. And if it pays off...
Shoot your shot. Okay, I'm going to go with Herpo the Foul.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
So I made a video about the unforgivable curses and he popped up in that. So I'm relatively familiar, but in case I'm missing anything from the lore, please fill me in.
So this dude, he created Horcruxes. He figured out how to create a Horcrux, which is insane. That is absolutely crazy. Like, it's probably like one of the most insane pieces of magic in the entire wizarding world. Plus, he's the first ever Parselmouth, and he created basilisks. He figured out how to breed them.
Dude, I'm so screwed. Are you joking? This guy's just gonna bring an army of basilisks to the battle?
That's literally what I was thinking. Just bring the basilisks in.
Oh, damn. Okay. That's huge, man. Dumbledore's not even going to be able to get the Sword of Gryffindor to fight the basilisks, because Gryffindor's going to be on your side with it.
Like, what I'm picturing right now is, like, both sides running at each other, and then basilisks, like, just come up, and then literally just look at everybody on your side, and then dead.
God damn. Okay, I'm going to have to change my strategy here, then. Oh, no, you've got another pick. You've got another pick. I can't change my strategy yet.
I'm going to go with a Prime Mad-Eye Moody, the greatest Auror of all time.
That's huge, dude. He was on my list, too.
I think that's a good pick. I feel really good about my list right now.
Your list is phenomenal, which is making me pivot. I'm going to have to play some defense, I think. And I'm like, who is the best healer that I can think of?
Interesting.
And I think it's Madame Pomfrey. I'm trying to think if I can think of anyone else who would be a better medic in the field. And I'm like, I can't think of anyone. And I'm like, there is nothing that Madame Pomfrey hasn't been able to solve. Though she would be, I would argue, probably useless actually fighting. I think I'm taking Madame Pomfrey as my cleric, so to speak.
Okay, so basically it's going to be 4-on-5 on the battlefield. And you have a healer who will try to heal people who fell dead because of a basilisk's eye.
Okay, yeah, that... You know, I'm not going to have you talk about Madame Pomfrey like that, okay? I feel like she's a good pick. And you haven't seen what my 5th pick is going to be. And that is going to be Rubeus Hagrid.
Okay, he was on my list too.
At first, I was on the fence about him. He was pretty low on my list. He doesn't really have a wand. What damage is he going to do? But I'm like, if you've got an army of basilisks coming with Herpo the Foul, let's get Hagrid to talk to the centaurs. Let's get him to talk to Grawp, to go and speak to the giants. You know, who can he bring with him? And also, like, how many stunning spells does he take in the Order of the Phoenix without being taken down? Is it like 7 at the same time or something?
It's a lot.
I'm taking Hagrid. And Hagrid can just be human shield for Madame Pomfrey while she does all the healing.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Hagrid is a freaking monster, though. Honestly, dude, that scene where, like, when they're watching from the astronomy tower and Hagrid takes all of those stunning spells, I think it's like 5 Aurors, Umbridge. He took every single one of them out, except one who was so scared that he backed up, tripped on one of his colleagues that was stunned, and then fell over.
That's so wild. What a scene, though. I'm so glad we didn't get that in the film.
I know. That's one thing I really want to see in the TV show.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, well, I'm glad I have the blessing of Hagrid, because I feel like I really did not get it for Madame Pomfrey.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear what the comments have to say about this one.
Okay, you've got a 5th pick yet. You're not even done.
Oh my god, yeah.
You're like, I'm so confident, I don't even need 5.
I'm gonna go with Kingsley Shacklebolt. Yeah, one of the other elite Aurors.
Dude, that's such a great pick. What I will say is I feel like, what is it Kingsley, McGonagall, and Slughorn are all dueling Voldemort at the same time, right? And they can't take him down. And I'm like, Dumbledore handles Voldemort relatively comfortably in the Ministry for Magic. So I'm like, Kingsley and Moody, I feel like Dumbledore can just, like, without a second thought, can take care of them, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's the Gryffindor Herpo the Foul double act that I'm worried about.
Yeah, I feel like they would have it in the bag. Not gonna lie.
Okay, yeah, but have you thought about Madame Pomfrey here? Like, she brings a lot to the side.
She brings a lot to the battlefield.
Again, let's leave it to the comments, and they can decide just how royally I'm screwed. Oh man, I feel like I should have subbed out Pomfrey. That was a rogue pick. I feel bad about it. You know what? We go again next time, okay? So you get first pick as well.
I am gonna go with Fenrir Greyback.
You want him on your side while you're trying to survive an apocalypse?
Yes.
I feel like if food supplies dry up, you've got the one person who will willingly eat people.
Yeah. But also, he would be able to take these zombies down for sure.
That's true.
Honestly, like one thing I was thinking about is like, if you're a werewolf and you get bitten by a zombie, can you become a zombie?
That's a great question.
And if he is like can be a zombie, but also a werewolf, that might make him really powerful. But I don't think he would be able to turn into a zombie.
No, I don't either. So I don't know how it is in Harry Potter. I know in a lot of things, werewolves have like super healing abilities, right? Like in Twilight, don't they heal up really quickly?
I think so, yeah.
I know that Lupin has a bunch of scars, so I don't know how accurate that is in Harry Potter, but like general werewolf lore, I feel like you'd expect it to kill the virus before it takes hold of him, right?
Yeah, I'm feeling better about my pick. I feel like as soon as I said it, I was like, shoot, that's not a good pick. But I think actually it is a good pick.
My number one pick is also high risk, high reward, okay? I'm gonna go Hagrid, because the guy is strong. If you're trying to build shelter, the way that he like battled through people, like you said before, in the Order of the Phoenix, like he could just run down zombies if he were trying to get through a horde. If stunning spells can't get through his skin, like maybe he's gonna be much harder to like bite from a zombie or something.
Yeah.
Only downside in an apocalypse, how many calories he will clearly need to consume when food is already going to be scarce, and how sensitive he is. I feel like he might have a breakdown in week 1.
Yeah, he might. Like, he cries at everything.
But he's loyal, he's strong, I feel like he knows the wild, everything he knows about the Forbidden Forest. I'm like, if I had to make a shelter somewhere in the wild to survive for like a few weeks, he's the guy I'd want with me.
I feel like if somebody, I don't know who you're going to have, but I feel like if he does have a close relationship with one of them and they do get turned into a zombie or die, he's going to hold that on himself and he's just going to melt down. He won't be able to do anything. He'll be like, just let me die, you know?
Oh, that's true. I'm going through my whole list. Like, okay, I'll skip everyone he's close to. And that's a whole list. I only have people who are close to Hagrid. I think my next pick is going to be Hermione Granger. I just think how prepared she was for the Horcrux hunt, the tent, the bag, all of her charms, like protective charms and stuff. Like, an apocalypse is basically the Horcrux hunt anyway, right? And she's so prepped for that. So I think running the risk of upsetting Hagrid if she gets hurt aside, Hermione is probably the next best pick I could have made.
Yeah, I do like that pick. My strategy right now is to just get the darkest wizards you can get.
Okay.
I'm going to go for the most unhinged dark wizard, Barty Crouch Jr.
Okay, I really want to hear your thinking behind this.
He is incredibly smart and he is absolutely cuckoo. He will do whatever it takes.
Sure, they're going to do whatever they need to.
Also, Barty Crouch Jr. is one of the most loyal people in the entire series. Granted to Voldemort, but he has loyalty.
I'm with you. I think that's a great pick. I feel like your team is clearly going in a certain direction that I wouldn't pick for myself, but now you're in it, I can kind of see it working in this chaotic kind of way. Okay, you got another one.
I'm going to stick to the same sort of thing, but I'm going to go with Severus Snape. I feel like if anybody were to figure out what was making the zombies do this or like their chemistry, I feel like it would be Snape. And also, I feel like he could probably brew up like an insane potion that might drive the zombies away or kill the zombies.
Or like a cure if somebody gets bitten.
Oh yeah, he'd be able to like make something to heal them. Honestly, like if you get bitten by a zombie, he could probably just go over you and heal it.
That's so true. I feel like the closest thing to an antidote to a zombie virus that we'd have would be the Wolfsbane potion, which he makes every month for Lupin, like fairly comfortably, right? Yeah. That's such a good pick. If you're like, I'm just like all in on survival, but you're like, I'm gonna cure it and like civilization's gonna rebuild like 3 weeks later. That's a great pick. That's a great pick. My next pick is going to be Harry Potter, simply for the invisibility cloak. I don't care too much about having Harry along for the ride. I want the cloak. I feel like if there's a horde of zombies coming along or another pack of survivors, maybe one of them is a cannibal, maybe one of them is this loyal, weird-tongued servant of a Dark Lord. If I've got the cloak, I feel comfortable we're going to survive, you know?
Yeah, I see your thought process there. That is a good one.
Plus, I feel like I'm going for vibes and chemistry again now. Like, I've come full circle to the movie flame way of thinking.
If Harry died, though, it'd be over for Hagrid.
That's so true. Although, if enough of our pack are people that he cares about, I feel like we could be like, Hagrid, pull yourself together. I know it's sad that Harry died, but don't you care about Hermione? If you keep sobbing through the night, she's going to die too.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
My next pick is going to be Sirius Black. This guy survives Azkaban. He survives living in a cave outside of Hogsmeade the entirety of the Goblet of Fire, pretty much. He can turn into a dog, which I feel like is going to be great for like scavenging and scouting. I just think in general, Apocalypse Survival, Sirius is the kind of guy you want.
That might be one of the best picks we've had so far today.
I think so. I think it's a good one. Yeah, we know he can get by on scraps and not a lot of food as well, right? He's done it for 12 years. Okay, your final two.
I am going to stick to Dark Wizards, and I am going to go... This is a very, very risky one. I'm going to go with Lord Voldemort.
Oh, damn, okay. Oh my god, dude.
I don't know if this is fair, you can tell me, but he has an entire army of Inferi that he could call on. So imagine those Inferi come after the zombies. I feel like that would be like a whole wall of protection. He could just, well... I was going to say he could just kill whoever he wants and turn them into an Inferi, but then he might kill my team.
That's so true. And also, like, there's not a lot of living people left in the apocalypse, so there's not going to be a whole lot for him to, like, go on for that. I think it's up to the comments if we're allowed the Inferi hack with Voldemort or not. Like, because on the one hand, I'm like, it's a great reason to pick him. If I can have the cloak with Harry, why can't you have Voldemort in his Inferi army? On the other hand, I'm like, Inferi are basically zombies anyway, right? He might as well just control the zombies in the apocalypse and be done with it.
Taking the Inferi off the board, though, I do also think that he's a very powerful wizard. He would hold his own against zombies.
I think it's a great pick. And you get your 5 now as well, your last one.
I am going to go with Bellatrix Lestrange, keeping up with the Dark Wizards.
Dude, you are so going to be the first to die. This team is just going to turn on you immediately. Go on, what's your reasoning behind Bellatrix?
So I think it's loyalty. You have Voldemort, Bellatrix, and Barty Crouch Jr. They're all going to be a team. They're going to work together and could make sure that we don't die. And Snape is like, I feel like Snape would be more on my side and he would kind of protect me because he's used to like playing both sides.
That's true. I feel like, did you ever watch The Walking Dead?
Oh yeah.
You know the season that has like Alpha and they just walk around in the zombie skin?
Yeah.
That is the vibe your team is giving off. I feel like that would be your team's like survival instincts.
Which I'm not mad about. I kind of like that.
Okay, in my 5, I feel like I just have to go Dumbledore, right? If we're going to survive, we need someone who's just downright good at magic and can do as much as possible to help us survive. Talking of Inferi, like you did with Voldemort, if a horde is coming at us, we have seen Dumbledore with his like huge fire spell just take out as many of them as possible. And I'm just like, my best case of survival is Dumbledore just being a badass. Plus, none of my team is actually going to stab me in the back.
So Dumbledore, like at the end, I was thinking about picking him, but then I was like, it would be a disaster with all of the Dark Wizards that I chose. So I think that is a really good pick. So we saw Dumbledore use fire to stop the Inferi. Would that work on these zombies?
I don't know. I feel like in enough zombie media, burning them does stop them in their tracks, right?
Yeah.
So I like to think so. Even if it doesn't, I have faith in Dumbledore's ability to improvise with magic to figure out something that does.
That is very true. That is very true.
If you want to see me and Brett go head to head in the same way, but assembling a Harry Potter themed party, a battle without magic, and the best team for a pub quiz trivia night, the video for those scenarios is on his channel, which you can click here to watch next. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.